Philippines, a mysterious archipelago, concealing over 7,000 islands in the embrace of the Pacific Ocean. This astonishing country, like an ancient manuscript, harbors secrets that most of us are barely aware of. Imagine this: the only Christian nation in Asia where Catholic cathedrals coexist with ancient pagan rituals, and modern skyscrapers rise above villages where life flows just as it did 500 years ago. Here lies the final resting place of the great Ferdinand Magellan. But that is merely the tip of the iceberg of historical enigmas that this land holds. What lies beneath the surface of well-known facts? What incredible traditions and customs are practiced on remote islands where the foot of a tourist rarely treads? Why are cockfights here not just entertainment, but a true national passion that even overshadows football? And what strange culinary delicacies cause even seasoned travelers to raise their eyebrows in surprise? Today, we embark on a journey deep into the knowledge of the Philippines. From the facts known to every tourist to the secrets and peculiarities that guidebooks do not reveal. Our iceberg of knowledge will take us into the darkest depths of Philippine culture, history, and traditions. Are you ready to uncover what is hidden from the eyes of the ordinary traveler? But this is just the beginning of our immersion into the mysterious world of the Philippine archipelago. As the sun dips below the horizon and the last rays paint the azure waters in shades of purple, the ancient mysteries of this land begin to come alive, whispering their secrets to those willing to listen. Fact 1. The Lost Archipelago, 7,000 fragments of an ancient land. In the waters of the Pacific, like scattered gemstones, lie over 7,000 islands that form the Philippine archipelago. But did you know that only about 2,000 of them are inhabited by people? The remaining 5,000 islands remain untouched, harboring their secrets away from human eyes. Each island is a small universe of its own, with its own microclimate, unique species of plants and animals, many of which remain unstudied by modern science. Imagine a mysterious picture: an archipelago stretching 1,800 kilometers from north to south, where the northern islands may be struck by a typhoon, while the southern ones bask under a cloudless sky. Some islands are so small that during high tide, they are completely submerged, reappearing only a few hours later, like mystical beings from ancient legends. Local fishermen tell incredible stories of mysterious lights appearing above uninhabited islands on moonless nights. What are they? Optical illusions created by phosphorescent organisms, or traces of ancient rituals performed by the spirits of the past? Anthropologists speculate that on some isolated islands, there may exist uncontacted tribes that have preserved the way of life of their ancestors who lived thousands of years ago. But how do they survive in the modern world? What ancient knowledge helps them coexist with nature in a harmony unattainable by contemporary humans? The Philippine archipelago is not just a group of islands. It is a whole system of interconnected ecosystems, cultures, and histories, many of which remain unread pages in the book of human knowledge. Some islands conceal extensive cave systems beneath their surfaces, with passageways extending deep below the ocean floor. Locals avoid these places, claiming that beings not belonging to our world inhabit them. Archaeologists are finding artifacts on remote islands that do not fit into the known chronology of the archipelago's settlement. Who left these strange objects? What forgotten civilization might have reached these distant corners long before the officially recognized migrations? The mystery of the 7,000 islands continues to allure explorers from all over the world. But the archipelago reluctantly reveals its secrets, leaving us with more questions than answers. But the archipelago holds not only natural secrets, but also astonishing cultural phenomena that challenge our understanding of historical processes. Fact 2. The eastern land of Western faith, the spiritual anomaly of the Pacific. In the very heart of Asia, surrounded by Buddhist, Hindu, and Muslim countries, the Philippines present a striking spiritual paradox. Over 80% of the 110 million Filipinos profess Catholicism, making the archipelago the only predominantly Christian nation in all of Asia. How could it happen that in a region dominated by entirely different spiritual traditions, this remarkable outpost of Western religion emerged? The legacy of Spanish colonization, which lasted for more than 300 years, is deeply rooted in the Filipino soul, creating a unique cultural phenomenon. Syncretic spirituality, where Catholic saints coexist with ancient animistic beliefs, and Christian rituals acquire an unparalleled local flavor. In remote mountain villages, one can observe a remarkable spectacle. Catholic processions during which local shaman healers simultaneously seek blessings from both ancestral spirits and Christian saints. How is it that two such disparate spiritual systems have managed not only to coexist, but also to intertwine into a single whole? Anthropologists note a peculiar phenomenon. Despite the forced Christianization carried out by the Spaniards, Filipinos did not reject the new religion but transformed it, integrating it into their worldview. Is it possible that ancient beliefs of the archipelago already contained concepts resonant with Christian ones, facilitating this astonishing synthesis? In the remote mountain regions of Luzon, rituals are still practiced wherein Catholic prayers and ancient incantations in languages that modern linguists cannot classify are whimsically intertwined. Where did these mysterious languages come from? Which forgotten civilizations might have used them? The phenomenon of the Philippine Holy Week appears especially enigmatic, when in some provinces, volunteers subject themselves to actual crucifixion, with real nails piercing their hands and feet. The Church officially does not endorse these practices, yet they continue from generation to generation. What drives these people? What ancient knowledge are they attempting to preserve through this extreme ritual? Researchers have discovered strange rock paintings in the mountain caves of northern Luzon depicting figures remarkably resembling Christian crosses, yet dating back to a period long before the arrival of Europeans. Is this a mere coincidence, or evidence that Christian missionaries may have reached these shores much earlier than official history suggests? The unique spiritual landscape of the Philippines continues to pose questions for which modern science has yet to provide definitive answers, leaving us alone with the mystery of the remarkable fusion of Eastern and Western worldviews. Fact 3. Manila, the stone labyrinths of time, where the past and future intertwine in an incredible density of human destinies. In the shadows of the religious paradoxes of the Philippines lies another astonishing anomaly. The capital of the archipelago is one of the most densely populated metropolises on the planet, where more than 43,000 people live per square kilometre. This colossal gathering of human lives creates a unique energy in the place, which many visitors describe as almost tangible, a pulsating force. How did such an incredible concentration of human destinies arise along the shores of Manila Bay? The city is a remarkable temporal palimpsest, where layers of history have overlapped in a whimsical sequence. Ultra-modern skyscrapers made of glass and concrete rise above Spanish colonial mansions, which in turn neighbour improvised shanty homes constructed from materials that most residents of Western countries would consider trash. At the very heart of this urban chaos lies Intramuros, an ancient Spanish-walled city surrounded by massive stone walls nearly 3 meters thick and up to 8 meters high. This is the largest preserved Spanish colonial city in all of Asia, a true architectural ghost of the 16th century, frozen in time. Archaeologists have discovered traces of even older settlements beneath the foundations of Intramuros, possibly belonging to civilizations about which we know almost nothing. Who were the people that inhabited these lands before the arrival of the Spaniards? What secrets did they take with them? Particularly mysterious are the artifacts unearthed during excavations, adorned with unknown symbols that do not correspond to any of the known writing systems of the region. Is it possible that a developed culture existed here, the memory of which was completely erased by the colonizers? In the narrow streets of Intramuros, locals share strange stories of ghostly processions of monks that can be seen on moonless nights, of mysterious underground passages leading to forgotten treasure troves, and of ancient manuscripts hidden in secret vaults beneath old churches. Scholars are skeptical of these legends, but some researchers point to strange anomalies in instrument readings during geophysical surveys of the underground space beneath the historic centre. What lies hidden beneath the centuries-old layers of one of the oldest cities in Southeast Asia? What secrets do its stones hold, having absorbed the stories of countless human lives? The contrast between the ancient Intramuros and the ultra-modern business district of Manila creates a sense of temporal fracture, as if different epochs coexist here simultaneously, interweaving and interacting with one another in an incomprehensible dance of history. Fact 4. Underwater sanctuaries and snow-white shores, the marine mysteries of the archipelago, holding traces of ancient civilizations. Yet even the enigmas of Manila pale in comparison to the otherworldly beauty of the Philippine coastlines, as if crafted by the hands of unknown gods. Boracay Island, this tiny piece of land in the heart of the archipelago, is surrounded by beaches where the sand is so white that it practically blinds the eyes in bright sunlight. This is not just sand. Microscopic studies have revealed that it consists of the tiniest fragments of coral, formed over millions of years. Local legends assert that this sand possesses healing properties, while some longtime residents speak of strange glowing spots appearing above the water's surface on particularly dark nights. What are these? Bioluminescent plankton or something more mysterious? On Palawan Island, regularly listed among the most beautiful islands on the planet, lies the Puerto Princesa Underground River, a unique ecosystem where fresh water flows through limestone caves directly into the sea. Scientists still cannot explain how this incredible natural system was formed. Some geologists hypothesize about the ancient artificial origin of at least part of these tunnels, pointing to the strangely regular structure of certain sections. Who could have created these underground corridors? For what purpose? In the depths of Philippine waters lurks an even more astonishing mystery: the incredible biodiversity of coral reefs, home to over 2,000 species of fish and around 500 species of coral. This is a true underwater Eden, preserved since prehistoric times. In the Tubataha Marine Reserve, divers report strange stone structures at considerable depths, resembling man-made constructions. Official science deems them natural geological formations, but some researchers point to the overly precise geometric proportions of these objects. Could they have been created by an ancient civilization during a time when sea levels were significantly lower? In the waters around Malapascua Island dwell the mysterious thresher sharks, creatures with unusually elongated tails that appear only during specific nighttime hours. Local fishermen have passed down stories for centuries, claiming that these beings are guardians of the underwater ruins of a sunken city hidden in the depths. Marine biologists dismiss these tales, yet the fact remains. The behavior of these rare creatures continues to be one of the mysteries of marine biology. And what lies in the bottomless Philippine Trench, reaching depths of over 10,000 meters? This gigantic underwater abyss, one of the deepest on the planet, is virtually unexplored. What unknown beings might inhabit this eternal darkness under colossal pressure? What secrets do these inaccessible depths hold? The beauty of the Philippine beaches and marine depths captivates and entices. But behind this beauty lies something more, a sense of ancient mystery, as if the very waters of the archipelago hold memories of events that occurred long before humans graced these shores. Fact 5. The Culinary Code of Antiquity, a mystical fusion of flavors that holds the secrets of millennia on a Filipino table. But this enigmatic archipelago is not only famed for its natural wonders. Here, at the crossroads of ancient trade routes, one of the world's most mysterious culinary traditions has developed. Filipino cuisine is a true alchemical cauldron, where Eastern spices meet Spanish techniques, Malay traditions intertwine with Chinese recipes, and together they create something entirely unique, without parallel. Take the famous adobo, meat slow-cooked in a mixture of soy sauce, vinegar, garlic, and bay leaves. Culinary historians still debate the origins of this dish. Some see Spanish influence in it, while others point to ancient Asian roots. But the most astonishing fact is that chemical analysis has shown that the combination of these ingredients creates unique preserving properties, allowing food to be stored in a tropical climate long before the advent of refrigerators. Is this a coincidence, or ancient wisdom passed down through generations? Even more enigmatic is lechon, a whole roasted suckling pig, spit roasted over an open fire until crispy. Archaeological finds suggest that this cooking technique existed on the archipelago 3,000 years ago. Some ancient ceramic pieces bear images remarkably resembling the modern process of preparing lechon. How could this culinary tradition have remained virtually unchanged for 3 millennia, surviving colonization, wars, and shifts in religions? Perhaps within the very ritual of preparing this dish lies some profound cultural code transmitted at the level of the collective unconscious? An even stranger story is held by sisig, a dish made from pig's head and liver, seasoned with lemon juice and chili peppers. According to local legends, this dish was created during a time when Spanish colonizers took the best cuts of pork for themselves, leaving the local people with only the offal. However, anthropologists point to an intriguing fact. Similar offal dishes existed in the region long before the arrival of Europeans and were tied to ancient rituals, where animal parts symbolized specific cosmic forces. The liver was considered a vessel of life energy, while the head represented the essence of wisdom. By consuming these parts, one would seemingly commune with these forces. Has this sacred symbolism persisted in the modern dish, or is it merely a tasty snack with beer? A true culinary enigma remains halo halo, a dessert that mixes up to 20 different ingredients, from beans and jelly to fruits and sweet potatoes, all drenched in coconut milk and crushed ice. The name literally translates as mix mix. Some researchers see this dessert as a metaphor for Filipino society itself, a multitude of different cultures blended into one space, creating a harmonious whole. Others point to a curious coincidence. The number of traditional halo-halo ingredients corresponds to the number of major islands in the archipelago according to ancient legends. Is this a coincidence or a coded message from our ancestors? What if Filipino cuisine is not just a collection of recipes, but a unique culinary code that preserves ancient wisdom and secret knowledge passed down through generations through the seemingly mundane act of preparing food? Fact 6. Mystical festivities, the secret language of rituals, where the gods of antiquity speak through the mouths of Christian saints. But this enigmatic archipelago is rich not only in culinary secrets. Here, at the crossroads of time and cultures, one of the most astonishing festive traditions in the world has emerged. Philippine festivals are a true time portal, where Christian ceremonies whimsically intertwine with pagan rituals, creating something utterly unique, like a bridge between epochs. Take the famous Sinulog in Cebu, a grand celebration in honor of the infant Jesus, Santo Niño. On the surface, it appears to be a typical Catholic holiday, but a closer look reveals the rhythmic dances of participants mimicking the movement of waves, their distinctive costumes featuring elements reminiscent of ancient Visayan sailors' tattoos, and the use of shells and marine attributes. Anthropologists have discovered a striking similarity between these elements and pre-colonial rituals of worship to sea deities. How could such a fusion have occurred? And why did the Church, usually intolerant of pagan practices, allow such syncretism here? Even more mysterious is the Ati-Atian festival on the island of Panay, where participants paint their faces and bodies with black paint, don bizarre costumes, and dance in the streets in honor of the infant Jesus. However, historians point to an intriguing fact. Long before the arrival of the Spanish, there existed a ritual on this island during which locals painted themselves to celebrate a peace agreement between coastal and mountain tribes. Is this a mere coincidence, or a subtle adaptation of ancient beliefs to a new religion? Particularly intriguing is the Pahingahanga festival on the island of Leyte, where participants cover themselves in mud and leaves, portraying the sick and the poor. According to the Christian interpretation, this symbolizes humility before God. Yet ethnographers have found references in ancient texts to a pre-colonial ritual during which the island's inhabitants disguised themselves as spirits of illness to deceive real evil forces and avert epidemics from their villages. Has this magical function persisted in the modern celebration, or is it merely a colourful spectacle for tourists? The duration of many Philippine festivals remains a true enigma. Some last for weeks, with preparations beginning months in advance. The Kadiawan festival in Mindanao spans an entire month, while the Mascara celebrations in Bacolod include 20 days of continuous carnivals, dances, and rituals. Researchers wonder why, in a country where most people live quite modestly, such enormous resources are invested in these festivities. Some anthropologists suggest that this reflects an ancient concept of the cyclicality of time. Extended celebrations seemingly stretch the moment of transition between cycles, creating a special sacred space outside of ordinary time. Others see echoes of ancient initiatory rites, where prolonged isolation and immersion in ritual were necessary for transitioning to a new social status. What if Philippine festivals are not merely vibrant carnivals, but encoded messages from the past, ancient rituals disguised as Christian holidays, safeguarding secret knowledge passed down through generations via seemingly ordinary dances and songs? Fact 7. The polyphony of the Philippines. Language as a reflection of cultural and historical diversity. In this enigmatic archipelago, where each island seems to guard its own secrets, there exist more than 180 languages and dialects. The official languages are Filipino, based on Tagalog and English, but this is merely the tip of the iceberg, concealing an incredible linguistic wealth beneath. Both the colonial past and the contemporary influence of globalization have shaped a unique linguistic palette that reflects cultural interactions and historical transformations. The Spanish rule, which lasted over 300 years, left its mark not only on the language, but also on the culture, traditions, and even on the everyday lives of Filipinos. Spanish words and phrases have firmly entered the daily lexicon, and some local languages have absorbed elements of Spanish grammar. Yet this is not all. In the early 20th century, when the Philippines became a colony of the United States, the English language entered people's lives as a new tool for communication and education. Today, most Filipinos speak English fluently, making the country one of the largest English-speaking nations in the world. How could such a linguistic transformation occur so swiftly? Perhaps it is tied to the Filipinos' desire to integrate into the global community while preserving their unique identity, or to a need for diversity that has always characterized this land. Approximately 70 languages are used across different regions, each carrying the history and culture of its people, like mysterious keys to understanding the Filipino heritage. But what lies behind this linguistic diversity? Perhaps it is not merely random linguistic influences, but a reflection of a deep connection between people and their land, where each dialect tells its own unique story. Are there ancient secret communities passing on knowledge through language, or is this simply the result of natural cultural exchange? Filipinos, with their command of multiple languages, weave a unique fabric of communication, yet the question remains, what role do these languages play in preserving their cultural identity? Perhaps within each spoken word lies a message waiting for its moment to be revealed. So, what are the secrets held within these languages, and what more can we learn about Filipino culture? Fact 8. The rice terraces of Banaue, the eighth wonder of the world, or a mystery lost in time. In the heart of the Philippines, where majestic mountains meet the clouds, lie the famous rice terraces of Banaue, often referred to as the eighth wonder of the world. These terraces, which are over 2,000 years old, were hand-carved by the Ifugao people, whose ancestors utilized simple tools and immense labor to create this stunning agricultural masterpiece. Imagine, enormous stone blocks, meticulously stacked upon one another, form breathtaking levels where green rice fields glisten in the sun like precious emeralds, surrounded by magnificent mountain landscapes. But these terraces are not only beautiful, they represent a marvel of engineering that has provided sustenance for the local population for centuries. The irrigation system developed by the Ifugao allowed for the efficient use of water flowing down from the mountains, ensuring sustainable agriculture passed down through generations. However, despite their historical and cultural significance, the rice terraces of Banaue are under threat of extinction. How has it come to be that this heritage of humanity, which has stood the test of time, is now on the brink of disappearing? Perhaps it is due to climate change, modern economic conditions that compel the youth to leave their ancestral lands in search of a better life, or insufficient attention to the preservation of this unique cultural legacy. With each passing year, the terraces lose their productivity, and their decline signifies not only the loss of agricultural culture, but also the severing of connections between generations. What will become of these majestic terraces if steps are not taken to protect them? Will this mark the end of the remarkable story of the Ifugao people, or is there hope for the revival and restoration of their traditions? How can we understand and appreciate this invaluable heritage before it vanishes forever? The mystery of the rice terraces of Banao remains unsolved. How many more wonders like this exist in the world, waiting for their moment to be unveiled? Fact 9. Mount Pinatubo, a lava avalanche of fire and ash that changed the world. The Philippines, a country with active volcanoes and stunning natural landscapes, harbors countless secrets and mysteries within its depths. Here, every eruption is not only a disaster, but also a reminder of the power of nature, capable of altering the landscape and climate of entire regions. Let us recall the volcano Pinatubo, which in 1991 produced one of the most destructive eruptions of the 20th century. This event became a true catastrophe. Clouds of ash and volcanic gases rose to heights of over 30 kilometers and unleashed their fury on the surrounding lands, causing torrential rains and devastating consequences. How did it come to pass that a volcano, long considered dormant, awakened with such force? Researchers believe this is linked to the movement of tectonic plates and the accumulation of magma beneath the Earth's surface. The eruption of Pinatubo not only transformed the landscape itself, but also endangered the lives of thousands, forcing them to flee their homes and seek refuge from the lethal flows of ash and lava. Yet the Philippines is not solely defined by Pinatubo. In the southern part of the country, on the island of Luzon, lies another enigmatic volcano, Taal. This volcano, situated in the midst of a picturesque lake, is one of the most active and dangerous in the world. Its recent eruptions have also left their mark on history. Crumbling rocks, fiery flows, and clouds of smoke that obscure sunlight. Like a mysterious sentinel, It watches over life on the island, attracting tourists with its beauty while simultaneously instilling fear in the local residents. But what makes it so unique? Perhaps it is its incredible shape and location, for within its crater lies a lake that some believe may hold the key to unlocking its inner power. What is the nature of such volcanoes? How do they form? And why do they become so destructive? Scientific research continues, yet many aspects remain unsolved. The avalanche of fire and ash emanating from these volcanoes has forever left its imprint on the history of humankind. But what lies ahead? How many more mysteries does the land of the Philippines conceal? We are only beginning to grasp how powerful and unpredictable nature is around us, and how much unexplored territory awaits its time. The mystery of the Philippine volcanoes remains open, and each new day may bring new discoveries, or perhaps new threats. Fact 10. Karaoke in the Philippines, a song that can spark a storm of emotions and even violence. The Philippines, a country where karaoke culture has become an integral part of daily life, entices not only with its stunning landscapes, but also with its unusual traditions. Here, amid bright lights and merriment, there exists an unspoken rule. Do not kill someone for a bad rendition of a song. But how did it come to be that a simple pastime can turn into a tragedy? One of the most mysterious and tragic chapters in the history of Philippine karaoke is the song My Way by Frank Sinatra. This melody, brimming with passion and emotion, has become a symbol not only of evening gatherings with friends, but also a source of numerous conflicts. People gather in bars, belting out their favorite hits, but sometimes performing My Way leads to unforeseen consequences. How did it happen that such a popular song became a catalyst for violence? According to local media, in recent years, there have been several instances where performing My Way ended tragically. For example, in 1999, a murder occurred in Manila linked to a dispute after a rendition of this song. One performer, unsatisfied with criticism, attacked his opponent with a knife. This incident became a vivid example of how emotions, intensified by music, can spiral out of control. Since then, the term My Way syndrome has entered common usage, denoting instances of violence related to the performance of this song. Bars that traditionally host karaoke have begun to implement disclaimers, warning customers of potential consequences. We recommend not performing My Way, reads a warning on the walls of some establishments. But what makes this song so dangerous? Perhaps it's its content, which calls for self-expression, or the fact that it sometimes evokes excessively strong emotions in performers. Regardless, My Way has become a kind of taboo for many, and its rendition can transform from joy into a genuine tragedy. But this is not the only mystery of Philippine culture. What is the origin of this love for karaoke? Why has this pastime become so popular? How many more unexpected stories lie hidden behind the walls of karaoke bars, waiting for their moment? The enigma of Philippine karaoke remains unsolved, and every evening, as the first note sounds, one can only guess how this musical journey will end. Fact 11. The real crucifixion. Extreme Easter in the Philippines. In the heart of the Philippines, in the town of San Pedro Cutud, something occurs that is difficult to label as a typical religious ceremony. Each year, during the Passion of Christ, crowds of believers and onlookers gather in this small locality to witness an extreme tradition, the real crucifixion. Yes, you heard that right. Volunteers, driven by deep religious beliefs, allow themselves to be nailed to crosses with real nails, reenacting the sufferings of Jesus Christ. How did it come to pass that such a brutal practice has become part of local culture, despite the official disapproval of the Catholic Church? Every year, as the sun begins to rise over the horizon, people converge to observe this shocking spectacle, filled not only with religious significance, but also with a strange atmosphere that envelops all present. The ritual begins with careful preparation. Volunteers don robes symbolizing Christ's suffering and seek forgiveness from God for their sins before ascending the cross. To the sounds of prayers and hymns, they traverse the streets, where the crowd, holding its breath, follows their every step. But what is the true motivation of these individuals? Some speak of a deep desire to atone for their sins, while others claim it is a kind of test of faith. However, it cannot be overlooked that local authorities and the Church have repeatedly condemned this practice, noting that it has nothing to do with true Christianity. Nevertheless, each year, the number of participants only grows, prompting one to ponder, what lies behind this inexplicable phenomenon? One cannot help but wonder how it is possible to become so deeply attached to a tradition that evokes such conflicting emotions. This is not merely a tribute, it is more of a challenge that fosters the expression of the extremes of human nature. How has it come to be that such a controversial practice continues to exist in a world where religion and science strive for harmony? Perhaps it reflects humanity's thirst for testing its limits, for searching for meaning in suffering and redemption. Yet, this is not the only mystery hidden among Filipino customs. How many other such unusual traditions exist in the world that could shock and amaze? The mystery of the real crucifixion in the Philippines remains unsolved, and each year, as prayers are uttered and crosses are raised, we can only speculate about what other secrets lie within the depths of the culture of this enigmatic country. Fact 12. Secret arenas. Bloody cockfights in the Philippines. In the Philippines, where religious rituals and cultural traditions intertwine with unusual pastimes, there exists yet another mystery that evokes genuine interest and shocking emotions. The underground industry of bloody cockfights, known as sabong. Despite legislative restrictions and prohibitions, this ancient tradition continues to thrive, remaining a national passion for millions of Filipinos. How did it come to pass that cockfighting, filled with brutality and excitement, has captured the hearts of people in this country? Conversations about upcoming fights, favorites, and those willing to wager a fortune on their feathered fighters can be heard on every corner. The arenas, or galeras, transform into true centers of attraction. Noisy crowds, tense faces, high stakes, and the shouts of fans create an atmosphere where adrenaline runs high and passions reach a boiling point. Bets on cockfights can soar to astronomical sums, sometimes exceeding an entire year's salary of an average person. But what lies behind this reckless game? Some say it is not only a way to earn money, but also an opportunity to showcase one's bravery and skill in choosing a fighter. Others argue that it is a part of cultural heritage that cannot be eradicated, despite its darker side. Yet, how is it that such a brutal practice, which sparks numerous debates, continues to exist in a world where humanitarianism and animal welfare are becoming increasingly relevant? Nevertheless, each year, more people become part of this bloody drama, and the number of spectators keeps growing. Perhaps it reflects humanity's thirst for thrill, unpredictability, and the chance for instant wealth. But this is not the only mystery hidden among Filipino customs. How many more such unusual traditions exist in the world that can shock and amaze? The mystery of the bloody fights in the Philippines remains unsolved, and each time the cries of fans ring out and the pecks of beaks are heard, we can only wonder what other secrets lie within the depths of the culture of this enigmatic country. Fact 13. The mystery of psychic surgery, mysterious healings in the Philippines. In the Philippines, at the heart of a tropical paradise, there exists one of the most inexplicable and enigmatic healing practices, psychic surgery. This unique ritual, practiced by local healers known as healers, attracts the attention of both locals and travelers from around the world. How is it possible that in the 21st century, when scientific advancements and medical technologies have reached unprecedented heights, people continue to believe in miracles occurring right before their eyes? Healers, reportedly possessing psychic abilities, perform operations that astonish even the most skeptical observers. They assure patients that they can extract tumors and diseased tissues with their bare hands, without the use of any surgical instruments or anesthesia. Imagine, spectators are captivated as the healer leans over the patient, their hands seemingly penetrating the body, and in an instant, they extract something that looks like a tumor, leaving no scar behind. How can this be possible? Some claim it is merely a trick and an illusion, meticulously crafted to create the appearance of healing. Western medicine regards these practices with caution and skepticism, viewing them as mere stunts for the gullible. However, despite this, thousands of people from all corners of the globe travel to the Philippines, hoping to experience the wonders of psychic surgery for themselves. They believe that healers possess unique abilities that can transform their lives. But what lies behind this phenomenon? Perhaps it is something more than mere magic. The faith and intention of patients may play a crucial role in the healing process. Psychosomatic responses may indeed be capable of altering a person's health, but how can one explain the fact that such practices continue to exist in a world where the scientific approach is becoming increasingly dominant? Perhaps it reflects our deep yearning for miracles and hope for healing, which, as we know, can sometimes prove stronger than the mere fact of scientific explanation. But this is not the only mystery hidden beneath the warm sun of the Philippines. How many more unexplored practices and rituals await their moment to reveal their secrets? The mystery of psychic surgery remains unsolved, and each time the healers commence their rituals, we can only speculate what else lies hidden in the depths of the ancient traditions of this enigmatic country. Fact 14. The mystery of the Tassidae tribe, inhabitants of the Stone Age or myth. On the remote and enigmatic islands of the Philippines, where tropical forests conceal a multitude of secrets, live tribes that have virtually no contact with the outside world. One such tribe is the Tassidae on the island of Mindanao, which was accidentally discovered only in 1971. Imagine a group of people who are said to have preserved the way of life of their ancestors, living in conditions akin to the Stone Age, far removed from modernity and technology. How is it possible that in the 21st century, when globalization and modern means of communication reign worldwide, there are people on this small island who are unaware of the existence of electricity or cars? The Tassidae tribe has become a true anthropological sensation, and their way of life has attracted the attention of researchers from all corners of the globe. But what truly lies behind their lifestyle? According to accounts, the Tassidae live in small villages, hunt wild animals, and gather fruits from tropical trees. Their daily life and culture represent a unique blend of ancient traditions that are believed to have remained unchanged for millennia. However, since the discovery of the tribe, debates have arisen regarding the authenticity of their isolation. Some anthropologists argue that the Tassidae were known to local residents long before their discovery, casting doubt on the myth of their pristine culture. How could researchers misjudge the level of contact this tribe has had with the outside world? On one hand, studies show that the Tassidae do possess unique cultural traits that distinguish them from neighboring tribes. On the other hand, some scholars believe that their way of life has been romanticized and that the Tassidae have been influenced by external factors, rendering their Stone Age existence merely a part of a more complex picture. Questions regarding the true roots of this tribe and the extent to which their lives are genuinely untouched remain open. What significance does their existence hold in the modern world? Perhaps the Tassidae tribe serves as a living reminder that even in the age of technology, there are corners of the earth where ancient traditions are still preserved. But what will become of them in the future? With each passing year, globalization penetrates deeper, and we can only speculate how their lives will change when they encounter modern society. The mystery of the Tassidae tribe remains unsolved, and perhaps therein lies their enigma. What else is hidden within the vast forests of the Philippines, awaiting its moment to reveal its secrets to humanity? Fact 15. The riddle of the mummification cult. How do the Ifugao preserve their dead? On the northern slopes of Luzon, in the mysterious mountains of the Philippines, there exists an unusual cult that maintains a living connection between life and death. The ancient practice of mummification among the Ifugao people. Here, in remote villages where clouds brush against the mountain peaks, one can find the caves of Kabayan, which house mummies that have become symbols of eternal remembrance of ancestors. How has it come to be that this practice, rooted in deep antiquity, has survived to this day in a world where technology and science rapidly alter the landscape of life? The Ifugao are a people who have preserved their customs and traditions for centuries, despite external influences. Their mummification rituals represent a complex process involving the use of herbal infusions and smoke to preserve the bodies of the deceased. The dead leaders are not buried in the ground, as is customary in most cultures, but dried and placed in designated areas where they continue to protect their descendants. This practice creates a unique atmosphere in which the dead remain a part of life, safeguarding their villages and families. Ifugao mummies are often situated in accessible locations, serving as a reminder to the living of the importance of respecting their ancestors. But what is the true reason behind such an unusual ritual? Some researchers suggest that it is a means of maintaining a connection with the spirits of the ancestors and providing protection against malevolent forces. Others believe that mummification symbolizes status and power, demonstrating that a leader continues to be an important figure for the tribe even after death. Nonetheless, scholars face numerous questions. How did this tradition originate? How has it changed over time? And what internal and external factors have influenced its preservation? Are there other peoples practicing similar rituals? And if so, what makes them unique? Even if the Ifugao continue their ancient traditions, How will they adapt in the future as the world around them changes rapidly? These mysteries remain unanswered, like shadows lurking in caves where time has stood still, and the spirits of ancestors continue to guard their lands. Perhaps therein lies the magic of the Ifugao mummification, in their ability to maintain a connection between life and death, and in the depths of the Luzon Mountains lie secrets that have endured through the ages, captivating the minds of researchers and history enthusiasts alike. What multitude of mysteries remains hidden in this world, waiting to be uncovered? And what can we learn about ourselves by studying the past? The Philippines is a remarkable realm of contrasts, where beneath vibrant tropical beaches and majestic Catholic churches lie layered traditions and historical enigmas, much like an iceberg submerged in the depths of the ocean. As we familiarize ourselves with this country, we immerse ourselves in a world brimming with unexplored rituals and cultural practices passed down through generations. Here, amidst bustling markets and quiet villages, one can encounter not only smiling locals, but also feel the breath of ancient customs that lend this place its uniqueness. Every corner of the Philippines holds its secrets, from the mysteries of the mummification of the Ifugao people to the myths of lost civilizations that once thrived on these islands. How is it that such a rich culture, rooted in a blend of Eastern and Western traditions, has been preserved and continues to evolve in the modern world? It is the perfect destination for those seeking not just relaxation, but a profound immersion in a unique atmosphere. As travelers explore the Philippines, they may discover that each step on this enchanting archipelago is a step into the unknown. What were the true motivations of the ancient builders who left behind mysterious artifacts? How do locals maintain their customs in an age of globalization? These questions evoke intrigue and compel us to seek answers, delving into an inexhaustible sea of knowledge. We invite you to share in the comments which facts about the Philippines surprised you the most. Perhaps you are curious about other exotic countries that also hold their secrets and mysteries. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future episodes on culture and history that may open your eyes to a wondrous world filled with marvels waiting to be discovered. What other enigmas does our world conceal? And how many more mysteries await unraveling?